We back.
We are back. Benchwire, Season 2, Episode 1. Are you excited?
Sure.
You better be. Because we got Facecam.
Yeah.
Powered by StreamYard.
Well, that's going to be cut out.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, I love it.
I'm going to edit it out.
He's going to edit it out. Because that's what he does.
Yeah.
But what are we doing
I
today?
can cover it, but we'll find
we
out.
got to let him know what we are doing today.
Divisional rankings.
Yes.
Start the season.
We got to start the season off right with some preseason rankings.
Yeah.
So we got the AFC East we're going to start out with first.
AFC
and then we're going to go down.
We made tier makers.
We did, because we want to be professional in every which way possible. So let's share my screen here. How do we do this? We go like this. Bada bing, bada boom. You see it?
I see it.
He sees it. Okay. So we're going to go down the list from AFC to NFC. I'm going to rank how I think the division's going to go, who's going to win, who's going to suck. So let's figure this out.
And then I will go. We'll do division at a time.
Yeah. So are we going with first place first?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Just making sure now. All right. Well, with the AFC East, I got the Buffalo Bills coming in first place. Do I have to, scroll up here?
Yeah.
Man, it's got to be a pain in the butt. That's fine. But we got the Buffalo Bills coming in first place in the AFC East.
Okay.
Why? They got MVP, or he's not MVP. I think he's going to be MVP candidate in Josh Allen. All right. You got Stephon Diggs. They had a little trouble in the offseason, but they worked things out. I like their coach, Sean McDermott. He's solid. I think they got a few more playmakers in the offseason. James Cook, I think he's going to take a step forward this year. I'm happy what I've seen from him in training camp. And I just think their defense are getting Von Miller back into the swing of things. I think he will be a great addition. And overall, I just think they're the most well-rounded team in that division. So that's why I got them in first.
Okay.
So now I'm going to turn it over to you for first, or am I going the whole division, ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you say your AFC rankings?
I'm gonna let you go first. Well, so you'll start this division and finish the division, and then I'll do mine, and then I'll start the AFC North.
Okay.
And then we'll do it. So we'll go back and forth.
I like that. All right. Well, that's the first place team in that division. Now, let's see the second place team. I got to find them here. All right. Now, I've been going back and forth on this. I don't know. But I think I'm going to submit this pick. I got the New York Jets coming in second place. I like the additions they got. Obviously, they got Mr. Aaron Rodgers this offseason. I think he will be a great addition for them. And they also got Nathaniel Hackett. I don't know how I feel about him. I know. He's all right.
Sean Payton ripped him.
Sean Payton did rip him. But you got Aaron Rodgers. You just signed Dalvin Cook. You got the reigning Offensive Rookie of the Year in Garrett Wilson. I like what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball. The only worrisome thing on the offense is the offensive line. Because, right now you got Mekhi Becton moving from left tackle to right tackle. You got Dwayne Brown at left tackle. It's just a revolving door at tackle, and you don't know who you can rely on. And then you got the great defense. I've been watching Hard Knocks. Quinnen Williams, man, he had 11 sacks in that, joint practice with the Panthers. Man was going off. He's going to do some big things this year. I like Robert Saleh. He's a commander of the room. He's a nice leader. And I think they're going to be making some big moves during the season, and they're going to fight their way for the division title, but not get it. But I think they slide into the playoffs, make the wild card round, and they're going to finish in second place. So there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. You got the Bills and you got the Jets. Now let's turn over to third place. Is it Mac Jones? Is it Tua?
That's a clear answer here.
And the Dolphins. It's Tua and the Dolphins, man. I don't trust the Patriots. We'll talk about that later. But I like the Dolphins coming in at third place. I really like, their offense. Mike McDaniel. He's a pretty good offensive guru. I think he will get the job done. You got Tyreek Hill, the speedster at receiver. You got Jalen Waddle, okay? And hopefully Tua can stay healthy this year, because if he can, he's a menace. He was putting up some big numbers last year, and I think he will continue that success this year. The only thing is, they lost Jalen Ramsey in practice. That's bad. That can't happen. And then you sign Eli Apple. That's not a great replacement, So the defense there might be some hiccups there, but I think the offense is going to be lethal enough to get them third place, not second, not first. I think they'll be good, but not good enough. I think they missed the playoffs, but they'll be a fun team to watch this year.
Okay.
And then the fourth place team, I already said it. You got the New England Patriots. Where the hell are they? There they are. The Patriots. They just signed Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator now, so I think that will help out Mac Jones. Okay. They got Mike Gesicki. I think that will give him a nice safety blanket. And they still have Devontae Parker. They just signed Zeke. And you got Ramondre Stevenson at halfback as well. I think that's a great 1-2 punch. I don't think Zeke is all that anymore. He's a little washed up, but he can get you some goal line touches and get in the end zone. So I like that for Mac Jones in the offense. And then you got Matt Judon on defense. I think Bill Belichick, he's good at calling defense. So I think that will help them from time to time in like game-ending situations. But overall, I don't think they're built enough to win it all right now. They're not even gonna make the playoffs. I see them as like a 6-10 team. So I got them coming in fourth. But now I'm gonna turn it over to Matt. So those are my AFC East rankings. And now, what do you think for your AFC
go ahead
rankings?
and
I'll add that to you.
I'm gonna go ahead and show you
Share
guys.
the screen
So
right there.
the first team that I think is the team that I think is going to win the AFC East, going a little bit of a different direction. I think it is the Jets, and simply put, their biggest issue was quarterback. And yes, the offensive line. We know that games are won in the trenches, but there are some exceptions with that. When you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, I mean, his release is so quick that, and his his ability to read the plays and understand where he wants to put the ball. I don't think he needs all this time in the pocket. I think he's a guy who wants to, just get the ball out and let his playmakers do their stuff. So,
Okay.
And then obviously their defense is arguably the best in the NFL.
That's a hot take.
They're definitely up there.
It's a hot take.
There's a lot of teams that are going to struggle going against that defense. And also just looking at kind of the rest of the teams in the AFC East, I don't think they added the way that the Jets did. Obviously, like you said, Dalvin Cook. Listen, Dalvin Cook is going to do a lot for the Jets. And obviously having Breece Hall as well, that's two guys that, they're just both going to be able to make that offense even more terrifying to go against. Like you said, the offensive line, I get it. Mekhi Becton, he's been a big question mark. He's been injured for quite a while now, it feels like. Moved him over to right tackle, and I think that's going to be really good for him. I think altogether, they'll be fine. I think a lot of people, listen, it's hard not to look a little deep into Hard Knocks, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure most teams went into their practices where their offensive line were struggling, other than maybe like the Eagles and a few of those other top offensive line groups. Mm-hmm. But it's clear the Jets' offensive line group, they just need better coaching, or at least they needed to kind of get into the groove. So I'm not going to, make this a big deal for them.
Okay.
And then the second one, it's kind of between the Bills. So it's between the Bills and the Dolphins. And there is a genuine argument that the Bills could end up being third. I think they have a great team, but from what I know as of this point, Micah Hyde is not coming back yet. I know he has it was a heart issue or something like that.
But they got Von Miller coming back.
Yeah, but just offseason additions, I didn't really see anybody that really moved the needle.
And tight end.
I feel like Dolphins and the Jets got better. I think the Bills kind of just stayed put. So,
okay.
I would do a hot take here, but I'm going to trust Josh Allen to get the job done. I mean, that's the difference between these two teams. Is one's being led by Josh Allen and one's being led by Tua Tagovailoa. And Josh Allen is clearly the better quarterback.
Yes.
Obviously, I said that, so that would mean the Dolphins come in third. Jalen Ramsey is a great addition. He's a great cornerback, but he hasn't been near his best in the last few years, it feels like. So I'm not going to sit here and act like they just got the best corner in the game. They got a really good one, but, we'll see. We'll see. Xavier Howard's a guy who I feel like he tends to miss games at times. So it's one of those where if they were both like constantly known to be healthy and not miss games, that would be different. But we'll see. And then obviously that leads the Patriots for fourth. And with that being said, I just think I should put it out there. I think this could be I think this could potentially be Bills last year. I think the Patriots, it's time to turn the page.
Yes.
You do need to rebuild. Mac Jones, I think he's a good bridge quarterback. I don't think he's your franchise guy. You could try to develop him into that. I don't think that it's too far-fetched to say that, he couldn't. But, again, I don't. They had an opportunity to go out and get a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, get Mac Jones a serious weapon, and they settled for Juju. And that's not to say he isn't a good receiver, but he doesn't help you against these other teams. He's just he's their number one guy. So
he's a Super Bowl champion. Come on now.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am with that one.
Okay,
so
sure.
Pretty much just switch the Bills and the Jets with you.
All right. Cool.
And then some of the, I guess, ideology is a little bit different, but...
Yeah, all right.
So
I respect that.
That brings us to the AFC West.
Back to my screen. Is it
No.
West?
It's my turn to
Your
start
turn.
the divisions.
Are you
Remember?
going 2 for 2
Yeah.
in a row?
Yeah.
Why?
I told you, we're going to interchange. So you went first.
I just noticed mine's messed up. Mine says the North, then the West.
It is what it is.
I'll fix it, though. Here. Go at it.
So, yeah. Let's talk about the AFC West. Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. Let's be real. The Chiefs are going to win it again.
Kansas City.
They're just one of those teams where they're like the Patriots. I mean, every single year, they're like, yeah, it's their division.
Dynasty.
Yeah. I mean, when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes on your team,
My homeboy.
you're pretty much always going to be either 1 or 2 in that division. And the fact that they have a great team around him, that's what puts them at number 1. Number 2 is a little bit different. The Raiders, I still think that they're a good team, but I don't think that they are where some of their fans maybe think they are. That some of the fans do think that they could push for the playoffs. I don't think that they're necessarily there. I think that they have Jimmy G to be a guy that is kind of make or break. Like, okay, either we're going to make the playoffs or we're not. Like,
Okay.
And if not, it's probably not going to be too close because their division is so stacked, I guess, with potential, right? I mean, if Russ were to come back to form, I think the Broncos could challenge the Chiefs because that's such a great team with the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
But I think...
He's thinking.
I'm obviously you also have to consider the Chargers, but the Chargers is just I don't like Staley. I don't think he can lead them to the success that they want. And so, with Sean Payton now coming to town, I think that I'm gonna go with the Broncos at number 2. I think they're gonna turn it around pretty much immediately.
Okay.
And I don't know. It feels right. I feel like when you have that Denver Broncos logo and you talk about it being one of the best teams in the league,
Let's ride.
it's just like it's the NFL.
Let's ride.
It's the NFL. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos
So you're
there.
expecting big things from them.
I am. I'm expecting
Russell
Russ to come
Wilson,
around.
comeback
Listen,
season.
I love Russ. I think that obviously he's had some personality stuff being talked about. Maybe he's not as good of a leader as he looks like he is on social media, but I don't know if I buy it. I think he's too good of a guy. So I think that he's going to earn the trust of his teammates back, and Sean Payton's going to make sure of that. So
Okay.
that means that I would have the Chargers at number 3. I don't think that the Raiders could challenge any of these 3 teams. If they did, like I said, it would just be Jimmy G doing what he did with the 49ers, like pretty much immediately when he got there. And I don't know if he has the same talent on both ends. So I do have to kind of put the Raiders at 4 or in 4th.
Interesting stuff. I don't know about the Broncos in second, but we'll get to my take. I got to share my.
Go ahead. Tell me what you're thinking.
All right. Well, the obvious one, Kansas City's going to be in first place. They got the reigning MVP, reigning
You sure you don't want a
Super
hot
Bowl
take right here?
MVP in Patrick Mahomes. All right. You got Andy Reid, Big Red back. Those two, if they're always together, they're always going to be first place no matter what, unless an injury happens or something like that.
Yeah.
But, like, if they're healthy and they're out there on the field, they're making big things happen, and I like them at first place. Next up, I got the Chargers in second place. I like what they did this offseason, getting Justin Herbert another receiver. So then if someone gets hurt, you got Quinn stepping
Johnson
in there. And then you got Mike Williams. And then say Mike Williams is hurt, you still got Keenan Allen. And then you got Austin Eckler.
So I almost look at Johnston as Mike Williams' replacement because I think that they're starting to realize, listen, you can't change Mike Williams' injury history.
Okay.
And it's clear that although they re-signed him, it looks like this is just going to be something that happens with him. It's not something that's just going to go away. It's, it was fluky in the beginning of his career, but Johnston, pretty sure he's like
he clears. He clears, man.
I don't know if he clears.
Dude,
Maybe not yet.
He looks
really good.
I saw his highlights.
I was gonna say, I think his comparison could definitely be like a Mike Williams.
Yeah, well, now they're both on the same team.
They got two of them.
Yeah, now they're both on the same team, so that's
But also, don't forget Joshua Palmer.
Joshua Palmer, he's a stud. And they got Gerald Everett. Don't forget about him now.
He's okay.
He was making some plays. He's a little underrated.
If they got a top tight end, then that would be a...
They used to have Hunter Henry, but they let him go. But then he kind of fell off. So then at the same time...
Yeah, he's on the Patriots.
He's on the Patriots. That doesn't help.
So it's him, Gesicki, and Jonnu Smith, I think, right? Or is Jonnu
Smith
he's
on
the
Falcons now, yes. That's getting a little off topic. But I do got the Chargers in second. I also like the addition of Eric Kendricks. I think that will be very big for them. He's a really good player, and he's the captain of a defense. And look what he did with the Vikings. So
fair enough.
I like that. And then you got Khalil Mack. He's always a force to be reckoned with, so I think he'll be good. And Brandon Staley is a question mark. We'll see what he could do this year. They should have won their playoff game last year. They kind of blew it. But I think they'll take a step in the right direction this year, and they'll get second place, and they'll make another splash in the playoffs and hopefully do something. Yeah. But, yeah. So now, third place, I'll go with Broncos country. I think Broncos country and Sean Payton are going to get things back on track. I don't think enough for first or second place, but enough for third place. I think Russell Wilson will need Sean Payton's help to be that player that he once was, and I think they're going to build the offense around what Russell Wilson did with the Seahawks, so I think that will benefit him for sure. And then you're also getting Javonte Williams back. That was a guy that I felt like they needed last year, and then he got hurt, I think, early in the season, and then they had to rely on Melvin Gordon, and then he eventually got cut during the season. So that wasn't good for Russ. And they also got Greg Dulcich. I like him as a tight end. He was a rookie last year, and he made some decent plays. I didn't even hear of him until I saw him that Monday night game making some plays. And you still got Jerry Jeudy, who still has potential. We need to see that unleashed. And then Cortland Sutton. You got players there. You just got to make it work.
It's really sad that Tim Patrick is towards ACL twice now.
And then KJ Hamler, he has that heart condition. He got cut. He might come back.
Yeah.
We don't know yet, but prayers out to him. But, yeah, there's a lot of potential with this Broncos team. We got to see it on the field, though. I got to see it happen. So that's why I got them in third place. I don't know yet. I'm a little worrisome about them.
Yeah.
And then fourth place, you got your Las Vegas Raiders.
So you agree with me on that?
I agree with that.
But do you think, like I said, do you think it's one of those where Jimmy G could just suddenly help them make that push?
He could. I don't know because he's not in that Kyle Shanahan offense now. But he does know Josh McDaniels. He does have some familiarity there.
Also still has Devontae Adams.
He does have Devontae Adams. Josh Jacobs, we don't know if he's coming to play. I think he will.
I didn't even consider that.
I think he will eventually, but he might hold out for the first few weeks because then he's going to be looking at all these fines he's getting. Like, I got to make some money. So he's going to come back eventually, I think. But yeah, not having Josh Jacobs there, that's another question mark for that offense. And I just don't see them improving this much this past offseason. They didn't make any, splashy moves. You lost Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is better than Jimmy G at this point. But we'll see what he does. So that's how I got the AFC West. You got the Chiefs first, Chargers second, Broncos third, and the Raiders fourth. And then so now I'm going back to back. So the AFC
And the reason that we're doing that is so that it's not so like my opinions aren't changed by yours and whatnot.
Of course. I like that. I respect that. Now I have to think about this one because we got some stacked teams in here, right? You got the Ravens, you got the Steelers, you got the Browns, you got the Bengals. Now, we don't know if Joe Burrow is going to be back by week 1. We don't know that.
He will be.
They said he might, but they might...
He definitely will be.
They might be cautious with that. But, with that being said, I still got the Bengals at first place. Joe Burrow is that guy. I think they can win some ball games with him, and he'll be in contention every year. You got Jamar Chase, one of the best receivers in the game nowadays. You got Joe Mixon coming back. He reconstructed his deal. I think that helps them out a lot, so then they could build more around that offense and help Joe Burrow out. I think they got the Chiefs tackle. Forget his name. Orlando Brown. Yeah. They stole him from the Chiefs. I think that will help Joe Burrow and his blind side. I like what they did. Hopefully Joe Burrow can stay healthy. Hopefully that calf isn't a nagging injury. But I like what I seen from them last year. They made a push. They got all the way to the AFC Championship game 2 years in a row now. See if he could do it again. I like them at first place. Now, second place, I have the Baltimore Ravens in second place. I like what they did this offseason. You got Lamar some weapons. You locked up Lamar. You got him Odell. You got him Zay Flowers. And you also have Mark Andrews as well. Like, that offense is going to be very explosive. And don't forget, you got Roquan Smith, who you got last year. I think those are great moves this offseason by the Ravens. And John Harbaugh, he's a great head coach. And I think he knows how to win football games. And he's going to show that this year. And they're going to make a playoff spot. And they're going to make some noise in the playoffs this year. So don't count out the Ravens. Now, this one's a tough one. Because now we got a full offseason for Deshaun Watson, right? We got a full offseason for him. But we also have Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. He's a good coach. They started off a little shaky last year, but they still got an over 500 record. Now, with that being said, they were missing T.J. Watt a lot last year.
They were.
And that hurt them a lot. I think he'll be healthy this year, and I think they get third place. I really like the Steelers. I really think Mike Tomlin knows how to coach a football team. Kenny Pickett showed strides last year. You had George Pickens. I think he still has to unlock some more potential. I think overall, they are going to be the third place team in that division. And I just cannot rely on the Browns. I cannot rely on Kevin Stefanski and that offense. I know you got Nick Chubb, but you did lose Kareem Hunt. I think they were a perfect 1-2 punch. He's still a free agent. You could still snag him up. But now having Nick Chubb carry all that workload, I don't think that's going to work out for the Browns. And, overall, they look good on offense, but I don't think Deshaun Watson is that quarterback that he once was. I think he lost a step from not playing that year, and he's not going to.
I think a lot of it is also mental at this point.
And mental too. So, all in all, that's how I got those rankings. I got the Bengals first, Ravens second, Steelers third, Browns fourth.
All right, throw me on there.
All right, now Matthew's turn.
So I kind of agree with you with what you said. Listen, I'm gonna throw a hot take out there.
Hot take.
Even though I don't think it's a hot take.
Hot take alert.
I don't think it's too much of a hot take.
It's not too much of a hot take.
But
take that back.
I think that the Ravens are going to win the division.
Okay.
I know a lot. Listen, the Bengals are the heavy favorites, okay?
Yeah.
But I think that Lamar, he's got his money now. He can relax. He can really just lock in and focus on football.
Okay.
He doesn't have to worry about anything else right now.
He's got to stay healthy.
Odell, listen, I know Odell's not who he once was.
He's got to stay healthy too.
Him and Zay Flowers, I really like their receiving core. And I think that we will see Lamar take a step forward as a passer this year. Lots of people act like he can't pass. And guess what? Now that they have some actual receiving weapons for him, I can't count out Rashad Bateman either. I like him.
I forgot about him.
If Lamar were to really become a passing threat, that makes his legs even more scary than they once were. And I think their defense is still really good. And so I really like the Ravens this year coming in first.
Okay.
I do think the Bengals will come in second. I think it could be, the difference of one game between these two teams, or one win rather. Both are going to be really, really tough to beat, and I mean that's really all I gotta say about the Bengals. As long as they have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins with Joe Burrow, they're going to win a ton of games because they all got some really, really good chemistry. Similar to you, I do have the Steelers third, and I actually think that the Steelers, it's not this year, maybe not next year, but I think that we will see them really begin challenging for that first place spot because, like you said with Mike Tomlin, he's an amazing coach. He has a track record of winning. You mentioned T.J. Watt. I mean, the dude is the best defensive player in the NFL. I don't care. I mean, the fact that they even were able to somehow compete in some games last year without him, I mean, that's how much of a difference maker one guy can be for them. And then Kenny Pickett. I've bought into it since he was drafted. I think he's a great quarterback. I think one day we will talk about Kenny Pickett and the Steelers as a team that you're kind of afraid of to go against.
So you think he's that franchise guy?
I think he is.
Okay.
And I think Steelers fans are going to be pretty happy about that because this turnaround that they're going to have is going to be pretty quick. And then that leaves the Browns. I think with Deshaun, I feel like like I said, I think he's really in his head. I think that everything that happened had really messed him up mentally. And so he's just not in the right state of mind to be playing football or at least focusing on it. Obviously things can change if he gets the help he needs, but at the end of the day, he's such a question mark. I mean, nobody knows what actually happened and whatnot, so that could play a factor. And then I like Elijah Moore. I think he's a good weapon. Same with Amari Cooper. I mean, you can't count out the Browns because if Amari Cooper were to become Amari Cooper, I mean, or at least on he was a good home or away player. He was like really known for being
home. I think I don't remember.
I just remember
it's one of the two. It's one of the two. Obviously.
I just remember hearing so much that he ghosts in certain games, and so if they could really get him to be, available every single game, and they could get Deshaun back to where he was, I mean, you literally can't count them out competing for the division still. I mean, they have Myles Garrett, and that's their version of T.J. Watt. So, yeah, I mean, that's a really, really, really tough division.
It is.
It's kind of like the NFC East in a way. Where teams could come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, that brings us to the AFC South.
Yes it does.
That's Mr. Anthony Richardson's division now.
Oh, come on now. Stop it.
Yeah.
Bad.
I'm not going to.
Thank God.
So, AFC South is kind of an interesting one. The Titans they got D-Hop, and
that's about it.
They have two young quarterbacks that seems like they don't really know what they want at the moment.
A little weird about that situation.
Their defense, again, they have Jeffrey Simmons and whatnot, so they could, I feel like that defense is really going to be the determining factor. Their offense will be fine as long as they have Derrick Henry, and hopefully an offensive line that could block for him, because that would make him even more effective. So this is kind of a rough one. I mean,
it's kind of easy.
I know you have like the Jags, but I still think that the Jags, I think they overachieved last year.
Overachieved?
I think they overachieved a little bit. I
think
it was a little early.
Trevor Lawrence.
I think it was a little early.
Calvin Ridley's in the fold now.
I know he's in the fold now, so
come on now.
I'm trying to think of their defense.
They got some studs.
Go ahead and name them.
They got that Trayvon Walker guy, number 1 overall pick. He's pretty good.
He didn't do too much last year.
It's his second year.
Who else?
They got Ibakum. Is that how you say his name? Ibakum? The edge rusher? No?
I know they have Foyesade Oluokun.
Say that again?
Foyesade.
Yeah, that guy.
Oluokun.
All right. That's the guy I'm thinking about.
He's a linebacker.
Yeah, he could play on the edge too, though.
I'm thinking corner-wise. I know they have Campbell, but
Yes. He's a stud.
Tyson
Campbell's a stud.
Yeah. Again, even though I think they overachieved, I think the division is still so weak at the moment.
Let me look up the guy I'm talking about. So I don't look like an idiot. Samson. That guy. Abukum. He's on the Colts now. Wrong team. All right, I lied, guys.
See, it's hard because I do have like a bias towards the Titans. I like the Titans. But yeah, I do think it will be the Jags. And then I think it will be the Titans. I think the Titans could still take the division. I think if they were to get Treylon Burks to kind of break out, along with DeAndre Hopkins, they could be a really scary team still.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to count them out.
Mike Vrabel, baby.
Trevor Lawrence, he's going to be really good, obviously. Everybody knew that. And it's why he was taken first.
Yeah, stud.
He's a stud. And then this is where it gets a little weird, right? The Texans and the Colts. Two teams that both have young quarterbacks now. Both who are going to be starting. C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. I think I'm going to go with the Texans third. And then the Colts.
Stroud.
I think the Colts, with it looking like Jonathan Taylor was going to...
Shane Steichen.
I know, but I think that
offense.
Jonathan Taylor not being a part of that offense
is true.
It looks like that. I mean, he was their offense.
You got Michael Pittman, though. You got Mo Alley Cox.
But I think Richardson and Stroud, I think Richardson's going to have more of a
he needs
a learning curve.
Yes, I agree with
than
that.
CJ. I think CJ is more fit to be a quarterback right now.
Okay.
Or to produce right now than
Ohio State.
Richardson. So that's the order I got for that division.
Okay.
I have a feeling that you're going to go the same exact order.
Well, let's find out, shall we? All right. So the AFC South, give it to me. The Jacksonville Jaguars. What I saw last year.
You don't think they overachieved a little bit?
No.
It did feel a little
Doug
bit
Peterson,
like fairy tale-esque
Super Bowl winning head coach. What?
It did feel a little fairy tale-esque.
Hey.
Like it felt like it was
how it
scripted.
works sometimes.
I mean, isn't that how the scripted came out? Wasn't that the Jags?
Wait, hold up. I gotta fix the screen here. Boom. The Jacksonville Jaguars. I got them in first place. You got Trevor Lawrence. He's a stud. I think he could be an MVP type candidate. He's a dark horse for that.
He could.
You got Trayvon Walker on defense, okay? You got Josh Allen. Both of them, studs. I think they're going to be elite this year. All right, maybe not Trayvon, but Josh Allen, we know he's a stud. And then, who else did they have? I had to pull up their defense. Devin Lloyd, that's a guy. I think he can
He could break out. He went to Utah?
I don't know colleges like that, but he's a good man. He's a good guy. You got Tyson Campbell, okay?
So wait, who are the other corners? Trey? Oh God.
Yeah.
That's okay. So I'm starting to realize that's why I was a little concerned.
Maybe they overachieved a little. No. They're still good. Do
they still have Devin Williams?
Where's this?
He's a corner. Oh, Darius Williams.
They got Darius.
They still have it. Okay.
Idiot. They got Darius Williams.
Who's Devin Williams?
I don't know. You're making names up now. But Calvin Ridley now. He's going to be good for Trevor Lawrence. Okay? Christian Kirk. I didn't think he was going to be that good last year. He was one of the best free agent signings.
Oh, baseball pitcher.
He got paid a lot, though. All right, now we're talking about baseball. This is bench water.
I knew Devin Williams was an athlete.
Okay. But what they did to build around Trevor Lawrence in the offense, I think that will pay dividends, and I think they will be the number one team in that division. That division's pretty weak right now. And then second, I'm going to go with what you went with. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans. They're the second best team in this division by far. You got Derrick Henry, all right? Stud. You got Ryan Tannehill. I think he's stud. He's a game manager, but he can win you some football games. We've seen it from time and time again.
Got them to the AFC Championship.
Exactly. They lost, but they got there. All right? And now you got D-Hop. D-Hop, number one receiver. He should have still been on the Cardinals. They didn't want him on the roster. They didn't like his injury history. They didn't want that contract anymore. So they unloaded it, and now the Titans like, hey, I want you. So now they got him. You got him. And then defensively, they're a little worrisome. They could be okay.
They have the players.
They got Jeffrey Simmons.
They have the players.
They have the players, but they're not good as the Jaguars defense. Like, they started out the season really hot, and then they had this big ass losing
I
streak.
think for me,
They just fell off.
it's the corners. I think their corners are boom or bust.
They are boomer bust, and
I mean, you
that's
have Caleb Farley.
yes.
You have Roger McCreary now. And then you also have Christian Fulton.
Yes.
And you still have Kevin Byard. And I think they have Malik Hooker.
Yes.
So,
Or Malik Hooker, I think he's on the
Colts?
Cowboys. He was on.
they
the
have
Colts.
they have a strong safety that I've heard his name, and I know he's still decent, but
Okay.
that's why I think that they could definitely challenge.
I don't know. I got the Titans in second place though. Let's move on now. So, who else we got in this division?
Texans, Colts.
Texans, Colts.
I think you're gonna have the same exact.
Yeah, I like D'Amico Ryans. I like that hire better. You're right. I'm going to go with the Texans third. CJ Stroud, I think he's the most pro-ready quarterback out of the 3-4 that got drafted. I like what he did at Ohio State. I think he will be a stud.
I mean, look at the offensive line that they've started to try
and then
to
you
put
got
around
Will
him.
Anderson. I think that's a great plug-and-play piece for D'Amico Ryans. D'Amico Ryans, he was a great coordinator for the Niners last year, took them all the way to the NFC Championship game, and he's a very respectable coach in this league, and I think he will actually win a lot of games this year, but not enough to get first or second.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, I'm listening.
John Mechie III was out last year.
He was out. I think he
He's
could be
back.
a stud. Yes.
I think he's a stud, and I think that him and CJ Stroud are going to start connecting immediately.
Yeah, and now that Brandon Cooks isn't there anymore, he can fill that void and make some plays. So I do like that addition, and I also like Will Anderson. I think that was another great draft pick. Going in there and trading up to get him, that was a
You have to.
ballsy move, but I think that will pay dividends in the future. But those are your top three teams, so that's going to leave me with the Colts at 4.
Tell me a little bit about Anthony Richardson.
About him? He's not
What
pro-ready yet.
What do you think? What do you
He's
think
not
about him?
pro-ready yet. He's going to take some time to develop. I like his attributes as a quarterback. He's like a Cam Newton type. He can, run the ball. He can pass the ball, but he's got to work.
He's got a rocket of an arm.
Yes, he's got to work on accuracy, though. That's a problem for him. So
I feel like it's so many times that we talk about like a quarterback prospect that comes into the league and we're like, got a rocket of an arm. And it's like,
you gotta
okay,
know
but
how
like,
to
can you
control
throw
that
accurately?
rocket of the arm. So I like that. I think Shane Steichen will help Anthony Richardson become that pro quarterback. But another thing, they don't got Jonathan Taylor. You need Jonathan Taylor in that offense.
Who's their backup running back?
I don't know. You tell me, because I don't.
I don't-
Exactly. We don't know. I think. Oh wait,
Because they don't
Zach
have Naheem
Moss.
Hines.
Zach Moss.
they got
made that
it was
trade.
Naheem Hines for Zach Moss. Was that a trade?
I'm pretty sure Zach Moss broke his arm in training camp, but he said they should be back eventually. But yeah, they got Zach Moss. You do got Michael Pittman. That's a great receiver for Anthony Richardson to start things off. And you got Mo Alley Cox. I think he's a solid tight
Didn't
end.
they get another receiver in this draft?
They probably Josh Downs. They got Josh Downs.
Yeah. I like
Yes.
Josh Downs a lot. I think although he's so short,
So-
for being a receiver, he could be good.
So yeah, that's my AFC South.
You got the best division.
I got the best division, AFC South.
No.
Oh, well, on my screen it says NFC West, so we're gonna change that. Now we're going with my favorite division because my
It's
favorite
gonna be an
teams
interesting
in
one.
that
I gotta
division.
see. Is he gonna do it?
Is he gonna do it? The Cowboys are gonna come not in first place, but the Eagles are gonna come in first place. The reigning NFC champions. They locked up Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown. They already locked him up. Who else?
Hey, let us get Jalen Carter.
They got
Should not have
Jalen
let
Carter.
that happen.
He should have been a top 5 prospect, and he went to number 9 to the Eagles. You got rid of Miles Sanders. You moved off of him. You got DeAndre Swift. I think he'll be great for them. Behind that offensive line, anybody can run the ball, let's be honest. And then Rashad Penny. I think he'll be good. He's another great 1-2 punch running back. I think they got a great running back committee growing
Kenny
there.
Gainwell,
You got
gotta
Boston
mention
Scott,
Boston
the
Scott.
Giants killer. So that's why he's on the roster. But that offense,
Yeah, he's a
most of it's
super
coming
return.
back. You did lose Shane Steichen, so we're gonna see if there's gonna be any drop off with the offense. I don't know, maybe. But you do have Jalen Hurts, and he was a great quarterback last year. He's played like a top 5 quarterback since last season, and let's see if he can keep that pace going. And the defense, you got Jalen Carter, you got Nolan Smith, you got some Georgia Bulldogs now on that defense. Nakobe Dean, he's going to be starting now. So they got the best roster in that division, and they almost won the chip. So that's why I got them in first place. Now this one's tough. Do I go with the Cowboys? Do I go with the Giants in second place? I don't know. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are the better team than the Giants. They got way better offensive line than Giants. They got Dak Prescott. I don't know if he's that much better than Daniel Jones after what I've been seeing in training camp after last year with his interception problem. But you do have Brandon Cooks now on the offensive side of the ball. You do have CeeDee Lamb. You have Tony Pollard coming back. You franchise tagged him. So we're going to see what this offense is all about with Kellen Moore gone and now Mike McCarthy calling plays. That should be interesting. They also did pick up Stephon Gilmore. You still got Dan Quinn as a defensive coordinator. He's one of those coordinators that should get another head coaching opportunity, I think. And Micah Parsons, he's a force to be reckoned with. And it's hard to block that guy. I think he could win Defensive Player of the Year. He has that potential every year. So
I thought he was going to win last year. I thought they were just going to give it to him.
I thought he was, but Nick Bosa was just that man.
He was.
So I like the Cowboys roster, bringing most of it back. I think they improved through the draft. They got that run stopper from Michigan. People are shitting on that pick. I think that's what they needed, and I think it was a good pick for them. So I think they're in the right direction. I think they're one of the best teams at NFC, and they're probably going to be in that playoff hunt with the Eagles yet again. So that's why I got them in second. Now, you know the Giants are coming in third place. The Commanders suck. They're god-awful. The Giants, they brought back Daniel Jones. Saquon's coming back on the franchise tag. You brought in a big-time weapon in Darren Waller. I like all the moves they made this offseason. And you got some more speedsters to the offense. People that could stretch the field, and Jalen Hyatt, Paris Campbell. Hopefully he can stay healthy. That's the problem with the offensive players they got. They got to worry if they can stay healthy or not. I like the center they got, John Michael Schmitz. You needed him. He was a great addition. A guy that can command the offensive line. Evan Neal's coming back on his second year. He was hurt some games last year. Hopefully he can stay healthy the full season. And then you got the best left tackle in the game, Andrew Thomas. Locked him up. And then I like what you did with the secondary. You got Deonte Banks in the first round. Didn't know much about him. Read up on him. He looks like a stud, hopefully. Looks better than DeAndre Baker. What a garbage pick that was by Dave Gettleman. But
boy, did he have a career.
Yeah. And then they also brought in the guy from the Rams, Ashawn Robinson. I think he'll be a good run stopper, a guy they needed on the defensive line for depth, because after Sexy Dexy gets tired out and Leonard Williams, we just got shit on by the Eagles' fucking run game, man. Like, awful.
Hey, man, that's why you got a Okereke.
Yeah, and we got Bobby Okereke. Can't forget about him. I think he'll be a great leader for our defense.
Outstanding linebacker.
And then you got Daniel Jones coming back with Mike Kafka and Brian Dable, the same offense, 2 years in a row. I think that will help out him a lot because this is the first time in his career that he's had the same offensive system. So, with all that being said, I think all three of these teams will still make the playoffs because that's how weak the NFC is. It's going to be a tight race yet again, but this is how I see it playing out. And now, fourth place, you got Ron Rivera and the Washington Commanders. They might change their name. We don't know. But I don't believe in Sam Howell. I think they're going to try and get Caleb Williams next year. They're going to be one of the most shitty teams in the league. I think the Commanders are. You got Chase Young coming back.
Still have an amazing D-line with Jerron Payne and
yes,
John Allen.
That is true. But the offense just gives me worries. I don't see anything productive happening with the offense.
Not a fan of the Baker clone?
No. And then you got Jacoby Brissett. I think he should actually start over Sam Howell. I think he will eventually. But all in all, I don't see the Commanders winning that many games. And they're going to try and be in play for Caleb Williams at the end of the season. So that's how I got the NFC East shaping up to be for this season. I'm going to turn it over to Matthew. There you go. Floor is yours.
Okay. There's a clear winner in the NFC East. It is the Philadelphia
New York Giants.
Eagles.
Oh, okay.
I think our team is just a lot better than every other team in the division.
Yeah, most complete roster in that division.
I think it's also arguably the most complete roster in the NFL.
Yeah, that's why they went to the bowl.
So, I mean, it's gonna be a great season for the Eagles. I don't even know how to talk about them. Like I think that the world knows. The world knows how good they are.
Let's see how they bounce back.
This is where it gets interesting. I have a hot take.
I love hot take. Have my team second.
I think the Giants are going to come in second.
I love that pick.
Let me tell you why.
I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it.
Let me tell you
I don't
why.
want to seem biased.
Let me tell you why, okay? I think Dak is going to feel the pressure. The rumors out there that it's time for them to start looking for a new quarterback. And that's a lot to throw on him. A guy who's already had his struggles. So I just don't think that the Cowboys are a team that is built for, I guess, like the mental part of the game. It's hard to explain. It's easy for me to think in my head. But I don't think that they are built for this, for making deep runs in the playoffs. And I think that it's going to start affecting them in the regular season. I think that pressure of we need to finally do something is finally going to catch up to them, because sure as hell should have been. And I think the Giants, I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to them. Brian Dable's a great coach. You said Mike Kafka.
Yes.
He's a guy who, I mean, we saw what he did with Daniel Jones last year. Found a system that really worked for him. And then you have Daniel Jones having some weapons, but weapons that he's going to actually be able to, like, know are here for the long term.
Yeah.
Like, Darren Waller is a stud. If he stays healthy, which I'm assuming in this ranking, he is that good.
He is that good.
I know, when we watch the games, I make fun of it, but genuinely, I mean, the guy is a top 3 tight end when healthy.
Yes.
And I think that's enough to be the difference maker between them and the Cowboys. I like your defense. I think your defensive line is pretty underrated. I think Kayvon will come around. Azeez Ojulari is a really good player.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he had like 6 sacks last year, and he didn't even play too many games.
Yeah,
so that means that when he's on the field, he makes an impact. Dexter Lawrence, one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL.
Locked him up.
Like you said, like Deontay Banks, they still have Adoree Jackson. I definitely, and they brought in Emmanuel Warrior.
Yeah.
From Penn State. He was on the Lions last year. He's a guy who had a little bit of a down season, but if he were to go back to where he once was, he was a pretty good corner.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just like what you guys got.
Thank you to Joe Shane, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I like what the Giants have, and I think Daniel Jones, a lot of people want to make fun of him, but listen, if he's just Eli Manning with wheels, so be it. Eli Manning is a great quarterback.
2-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, they don't need a Patrick Mahomes. Here's the thing, you don't need Patrick Mahomes to have success in the NFL.
No, you don't.
If you have a good team, it'll work.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Giants are going in. That's the direction they're going in. And then the Commanders, not even going to talk about them. They're awful.
Yes, Sam Howell.
They don't deserve to even be talked about.
Yeah. Stupid football team.
But so now that's the NFC West.
Yes.
So this is a fun one.
It better be.
The 49ers, the Cardinals, the Rams,
and the
Seahawks.
Come on, just give them first place. Give it to them.
I don't want to, but like
best team in division.
I just don't like them.
Defense.
That's my bias coming out. The 49ers are a great team, and they made the NFC Championship with Brock Purdy as their quarterback.
Stud.
And Brock Purdy, again, I feel like he's kind of coming with that. He's coming down with that Daniel Jones thing, where it's just like, he just doesn't really seem like he would be that franchise guy.
Oh, he's that franchise guy.
I think he's a really good quarterback, and
Tom Brady.
I think that it's going to be really fun to see him and
Trey Lance.
Sam
Darnold.
Yeah, I know you want it.
I'll save my take for later, but keep going.
I think that him and Trey Lance are going to have a really cool kind of quarterback battle for the next few years. I think
few years.
Yeah, I think. I mean, they're gonna play whoever is ready, and I think Trey Lance was a guy who wasn't ready to play right away. He needed some time.
And he still isn't.
We don't know that
Oh, I know.
because when he did play, there was times where he actually looked really good,
He did.
and then there was times where he looked really bad.
He was playing the Bears, though.
Brock Purdy, we're gonna have to find out if everything that he was doing was it just kind of a random stretch or is it genuinely who he is, and so until we find that out. I don't know if I'm going to pick them to come out of the NFC, but they got really damn close.
Yes, they did.
So I do have to give them credit. They also brought in Javon Hargrave on already
Stud.
an insane defense. So I got to see more corners from the 49ers. I feel like they
They
just
don't need them.
I know, but
They're just good
eventually
without
it's
'em.
going to kill you, and it kind of
They
did
got
with the
Jimmy
Eagles.
Ward locking up that
The
secondary.
Eagles slowed down that D-line, and then that secondary got exposed.
You got Hufanga.
I think he was a guy he'll start to regress. I think he was
a guy.
a guy for like a few weeks.
He was a guy.
And then after this,
Division just falls off.
it falls off. I mean, the
complete
Seahawks.
dog shit.
I like the Seahawks. I really do.
But can Gino do it again?
I think Gino can.
I hope so.
I love Gino.
No
then
love for Sean McVay.
No love for Sean McVay.
Ah,
I think
so sad.
I'll just talk about the Rams. The Seahawks. Everybody knows they're a good team.
They better be.
Their defense needs to get better, and if they can, they'll win more games.
They got better. Devin Witherspoon, stud.
Rookie corners tend to take a year or two to
Not
really.
if they're studs like Sauce Gardner.
And Tariq Woolen, who they had last year.
Exactly.
But yeah,
You're
I
proving my
definitely
point.
put the Rams in third. The Rams are still a good team. I mean, it's not like they were
They're a good
awful,
team.
but it really comes down to like who are their receivers other than Cooper Kupp? Van Jefferson.
Tutu Atwell, Tyler Higbee. You don't like those guys? They
Tyler
got rid
Higbee,
of
maybe
Allen
a
Robinson
few years
because he was
ago.
trash.
He's on the Steelers.
Yeah, because he's trash.
But yeah, I mean, I think listen, you still have Matthew Stafford, and this it feels like it's kind of becoming like the Lions,
Ah, yeah.
where it's like
Yeah.
it's
That's
just like you got
unfortunate.
Matthew Stafford.
It's
He's gonna win you
unfortunate.
some games, but he's not. Yeah.
And now
Cardinals. Jonathan Gannon, awful coach. He's gonna get fired.
Kyler's hurt
He's gonna get fired. Jonathan Gannon's gonna get fired.
already.
Yep, 1 year. He'll be gone.
Jeez.
He'll be gone.
You hate him that much?
Yep.
He got
Cost
you
us
to
a
the
Super Bowl.
Bowl.
Cost us a Super Bowl
He
too.
got you to the Super Bowl.
He helped. He
was
helped,
the one who held.
He helped get
Juju.
us there.
He was the one who held you.
No.
You were in
The
that
game plan was awful.
Okay. You
The
can
game
say the
plan was
same
awful.
thing about the Chiefs defense.
Their game plan was awful too.
The offenses were just too good.
Yeah, but
It's hard to stop
Eagles'
with great
defense was good
offense.
enough where they should have been able to not put up or not allow that many points.
Okay.
And we lost the Super Bowl.
You
It
did.
is what it is.
That was fun to watch.
Do I just switch it over?
I guess we have to.
We have to.
NFC West. Give me the 49ers. I'm a big fan of Brock Purdy. I think he's a solid quarterback. I think he's going to win the job yet again. I don't like Trey Lance. I don't think he's that great. I think Sam Darnold's going to leapfrog him in the depth chart, and I think Trey Lance is going to fall to quarterback number 3. I said it. It's sad, but he's a bust. It's unfortunate. I think Sam Darnold will flourish in this Kyle Shanahan offense if he gets an opportunity. I think he has the ability. He just hasn't been able to prove it because he was on the Jets and the Panthers. 2 crappy organizations. He's Googling stuff, but it's okay. The Niners, they did lose D'Amico Ryans, but you still have all those players on the defensive side of the ball that will win you games. Hopefully Nick Bosa figures out that contract situation because he was the defensive player of the year and should be paid like it. So pay the man, Niners. Pay the man. But yeah, you got, what was his name? Javon Hargrave. I think he's going to be great. He was great for the Eagles. He's going to be great for the Niners. You got Hufanga. He was a stud last year. And they're going to continue that success. And Jimmy Ward, he's an underrated guy. And I think he will pay dividends in that secondary and make some plays.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
He's correcting me.
Isn't he on the Texans now? Yeah, he's on the Texans.
I lied. Jimmy Ward is not on the team. Who else? Who's their safety? Who's their safety? Who's the guy that was great last year?
Jimmy Ward.
All right. Well, they lost Jimmy Ward because
went with
D'Amico
D'Amico Ryans.
Okay. All right. Well, forget what I said. They got Nick Bosa, one of the best. One of the best players in the game.
That's your way of turning it around.
They got Nick Bosa, and I think he will lead the league in sacks if he plays the full season. But yeah, you got McCaffrey. Let's not forget about Christian McCaffrey. That was one of the best trades at the deadline last year, and you saw what he did. He was great. And I think he's a top 3 back in the game when healthy, and he's going to flourish under this offense. But all in all, they're going to finish in first place. Let's move on. I got the Seahawks in second place. I like what they did in the draft, getting Devin Witherspoon, who's going to be a stud, I think. You don't know. You said he's going to take some time.
It's going to take time.
JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba, I think he's a solid receiver. Coming from Ohio State, he's going to fit right in the fold with DK and Tyler Lockett. Is going to be another great weapon for Geno. And you still got Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker was a stud last year when he got his opportunity. And when you're on a rookie contract, you tend to be one of the better backs in the league for the first few years on that contract. So I think Pete Carroll likes to run the ball, and he's going to show you why Kenneth Walker was one of the best picks last year and was a steal. So that's why I got them second place. Now, third place, I got the Rams like you did. Hey,
Say the same order.
Sean McVay, man, he's a great coach, but they just don't have the roster. They just don't have the talent on the roster, man.
They really don't.
Matthew Stafford's good, but he's coming off an injury. You can't rely on Cooper Kupp.
Aaron Donald wanted to retire.
Aaron Donald wanted to retire. Sean McVay wanted to get a broadcasting job. Like, the team, it's not great right now.
They won the Super Bowl.
They'll sell tickets. They won the Super Bowl.
And after that, they've just been like...
They went all in. They pushed all the chips in. But all in all, the Rams, man, they're just not good enough to win any games to be in the playoffs. Fourth place. Who's that team?
Cardinals?
Cardinals. There we go. I forgot. Jonathan Gannon.
Say it.
Yeah, he's going to get cut after the first year, man. I agree with Matthew here. Jonathan Gannon, man, he is awful. He is awful. Kyler's not even going to be playing right away. You got Colt McCoy holding down the fort, man. You lost D-Hop. I don't see it. Marquise Brown's not that guy. He's not that guy, pal. So that's my rankings. NFC West. You got the Niners, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. Boom.
Show me the North.
Show me the North, baby. Who we got? I'll show you.
I was gonna say there's a clear.
There's a clear. There's a clear for number one.
Yeah.
There's a clear. I'm gonna. This is a hot take.
Ooh. Nah. You're not.
The Vikings.
It's not a hot take. That is the clear.
That's the clear.
What did you think was the clear?
I thought it was the Lions.
No.
Okay, my bad. It's frozen. All right, we're good. I got the Vikings. I know they lost Dalvin Cook, but Alexander Madison's gonna step right in and make some plays for that offense. He was a stud when he got his opportunities. And then you got Justin Jefferson. I know you lost Adam Thielen, but
Jordan Addison.
Insert Jordan Addison to that beautiful offense. And you got TJ Hawkinsocks. I think he's a stud. Top 5 tight end in the game.
They still have Irv Smith Jr., right?
And I don't know about him. But they got Hawkinson, so don't worry about that. And then you got Kirk Cousins. Say what you want about him. He's a top 10 quarterback. He's very consistent in the regular season, doesn't show up in the playoffs, but man's a stud, and he can play well when it's not prime time. So that's not all their games. So they're going to win, and they're going to be first place in that division. And let's move on to second place. I got your Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, man, like Jared Goff, I think he could be a top 10 quarterback. He was playing like it at the end of the year last year. They went on a win streak. They didn't start off hot, but Dan Campbell and that team, man, he's a leader of men.
He is.
He's a leader of men. And they got my boy Rodrigo. He was a stud going into sophomore year. It doesn't matter.
Just try to finish this before that.
We'll be fine.
No, because I have to edit it.
We'll be fine. But I like the Lions, man. I think they'll be great. And all in all, they're going to be a solid team. Third place. Give me the Bears. I like the Bears, man. Justin Fields, he showed me something last year. I still don't see him as that franchise guy yet, but he showed some improvement and got me on the hype train a little bit, but he's still not better than Trevor Lawrence. I don't care what you say. So Justin Fields and the Bears, they got Chase Claypool now. They got DJ Moore. Those are some solid guys. I think.
No Darnell Mooney.
Huh?
I said no Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney's he's mid. Don't you remember when we made that video? He was mid. Like I was saying, Darnell Mooney is mid. He's garbage. He's okay. Yeah.
Cole Kmet,
though, he's a stud. I think he's top 10 tight end in the game, man. Like, I like what Justin Fields and the Bears were doing last year.
Running back?
Running back? Who they got? Can't think. They don't got Montgomery anymore.
No, they have the one guy. He's kind of
Khalil Herbert?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Khalil Herbert because they don't got Tariq Cohen anymore. That was a few years back. Khalil Herbert, he's solid.
Tariq Cohen used to be nasty.
He used to be, but he fell off. He's no Darren Sproles.
Wanted to be.
He wanted to be, just couldn't get the job done. But yeah, and fourth place. Sorry, Jordan Love and the Packers. You're gonna finish in fourth. I don't see it. Christian Watson, he showed something last year, but like that's not enough to win the division. They don't have Robert Tonyan anymore. They drafted some other tight end. I forget his name, but he's not good as Robert Tonyan. I don't care. Aaron Jones, he's solid, but is Jordan Love solid? We have to wait and see. So all in all, there's your NFC North. You got the Vikings, you got the Lions, you got the Bears, and you got the Packers going to finish in fourth. So I'll let you go to the NFC North now. Let's turn it over to Matthew. Floor is yours, my guy.
All right. Well, I have the Vikings winning the division.
So
listen,
it's
Justin
not a hot
Jefferson,
take.
It's not a hot take. Not a hot take.
Hot take?
Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the NFL.
But not against Darius Slay.
Not against Darius Slay. Not even close. He is nothing against
Adoree
Darius Slay.
locked them up too. Just saying.
So,
Just saying.
like you said, Kirk is a good quarterback. People try to, shit on him whenever they can, but
Top 10 quarterback
at the end
in
of the day, I mean, yeah, he gets it done in the regular season. The knock is going to be the playoffs. It kind of just falls apart. But then again, only so much can be blamed on him. The defense didn't get the job done against the Giants.
That's because their defense was trash.
Yeah. And I'm saying that it's hard to win a game if your defense isn't really going to do anything, right? So to blame Kirk is a little, I think.
They let Daniel Jones and Saquon run all over him. Because
Well, that's how you have to be.
studs. But keep going.
Yeah, the Vikings, again, I think they are the best team in the division.
They better be.
Yeah. Hot take.
Hot take.
Bears.
God.
Coming in
help me.
second.
God, no.
Coming in second.
Dan Campbell.
Justin Fields,
Leader
it's
of
time.
men.
It's going to have a nice jump.
You believe in Matt Eberflus.
Yes.
Ugh. Eberflus. Dan Campbell. Eberflus. Think of that. Think of that now.
What?
Who would you rather have as head coach? Dan Campbell or Matt Eberflus?
Dan Campbell. But
Okay.
again, Eberflus,
Eberflus clears?
he did a good job with him.
Did he? How many wins did they have?
They helped Justin Fields turn things around.
He did. And the offensive coordinator did. Because Matt Eberflus is a defensive coach.
You know that he helped.
He didn't do shit.
How do you know? Are you in the locker room?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got all access, baby.
All right. Who's their defense coordinator?
That guy, Matt Eberflus. They don't need one.
But who's the defense coordinator?
The guy, Matt Eberflus.
Anyways, I think Justin Fields is
Tell me
gonna.
a second.
I think he's gonna break out. DJ Moore is gonna change a lot.
Alan Williams.
Cool.
He sucks. I'm sorry.
I don't know. There's something about the Bears where I think that they figured it out. I think they figured out what they need to do. I like their secondary.
Darnell Mooney?
I like their secondary.
Who they got?
Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, A. Jackson.
Jaquan Brisker's alright. He's alright. We are, but like, he's alright.
What's his name? Kalen Johnson.
He's alright.
So, I mean, I like it. And
He likes it. Better than...
now, they definitely should have drafted Jalen Carter, but...
See, they're idiots.
They
And this
did-
guy's a
they took-
defensive coach.
They took the offensive tackle. I'm not going to try to say his name because I'm totally forgetting it right now. He's from Tennessee. Darnell Wright?
I don't know. I don't know.
But he's going to be good, and they prioritize getting Fields protection, which is the right choice. But, yeah, I think the Bears are going to be able to figure things out. And That is probably my hottest take of the whole entire video, is this.
Well, that's god awful.
Lions coming in third.
They better not finish fourth.
Packers coming in third.
Hey, you're funny. Funny guy.
See, the Lions are one of those teams where, again, it didn't really feel like last year was what is to be expected.
Okay.
I feel like, again, a lot of teams
they
last
went
year.
too hot last year?
Yeah, I think that
It was too scripted?
I think that they still need to look for a franchise-changing quarterback. I think Jared Goff is still
You
a good
don't
quarterback.
think Jared Goff?
I think he's a good quarterback.
is him?
And, like, yes, I know he was drafted number 1 overall for a reason.
Better than Wentz.
But,
Still
okay.
has a job. Keep going.
But yeah, I like Jared Goff, but I just don't think he's the answer, and think at times he could be too inconsistent. Jameson Williams got suspended, and it also just seems like the guy is just not going to pan out.
Ross St. Brown hater.
He's not better than Devontae Smith.
He is.
No, he isn't.
Give him
Devontae
his
Smith is a top
opportunity.
10 wide receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Amon-Ra doesn't have A.J. Brown on his team. That helps.
Devontae Smith still has to get open.
Okay, because A.J. Brown's getting double teamed. Come on.
I mean, and then who else are the Lions receivers? They don't have DJ Chark anymore.
They don't need him.
Who do they have?
Jameson Williams, is he out for the whole year?
It's out for like 6 weeks, and then they've already
Well,
said the
come
guy
back.
does not have hands.
Well, I'll look it up for you. I'll tell you in a second.
Go ahead. Tell me their receivers.
I'll tell you in a second, but keep going.
And then, yeah, obviously the Packers are in fourth.
Jameson Williams. They got Khalif Raymond and Josh Reynolds, and Marvin Jones is back.
Okay.
Marvin Jones was a stud for the Jaguars last year.
Is not on that team.
Yes, he is. I'll prove it to
There's
you.
no way he
I'll
went
prove
back.
it to you. Whoa, he's American football wide receiver for the Detroit Lions.
He went back to the Lions?
Yeah, man. He wanted to go home and play for Dan Campbell.
Well, I mean, he wasn't even that special in the Jags anyways.
He helped them win some playoff games.
Some.
One playoff.
But yeah, the Packers are in fourth. I just think that Jordan Love, it's going to take time. I don't think he's going to come in right away, be ready.
He's not it.
He's a rookie.
He's not it.
He's a rookie that's what, 25 or 24? So
I don't know.
he's not going to have too much time to figure things out. So they still have a good defense, though, but we'll see. And then that leaves the NFC
I
South.
think that's the order right there. Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Bucks, right? Desmond Ridder on top for the division? Come on now.
No. Derek Carr is going to win the NFC South. I mean,
Just Derek
Desmond
Carr,
Ridder.
not the Saints.
The Saints are gonna win.
He has a team.
Desmond Ridder, Bryce Young, Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr. Let's be real.
Come on, you're a Baker believer.
That's right. Nah. I think
Brady's
Derek Carr.
coming out of
Derek
retirement.
Carr is an upgrade over Jameis Winston. He's an upgrade over who else did they even
Andy
have?
Dalton,
Andy Dalton. He is
an upgrade over
still a
Drew
good quarterback,
Brees.
and I think that
Just kidding.
I think Derek Carr is going to achieve some good things here with the Saints
He
for the next
better.
few years.
Got Michael Thomas. Alvin Kamara's out first 3 games. Is that going to play any
They
factor?
still have Jarvis Landry, I'm pretty sure.
No.
No?
Free
Where's-
agent.
Seriously.
No one wants him.
I thought he's still a good veteran,
Chris Olave?
obviously. And
Chris
then
Olave?
they still have a good offensive line from what I remember. I don't know if there were too many changes from the last time I've looked, but
Ryan Ramczyk?
yeah.
Mr. Ruiz? I'm trying to think.
They obviously don't have Terrell Armstead anymore.
He's on the Dolphins. That's why they're going to finish in 3rd. Because he's old.
But yeah, I think that Derek Carr and the Saints will win it. I think the Falcons will come in second.
Atlanta.
Desmond Ridder.
Really?
I actually think that Desmond Ridder could be their guy. And I said that last year. You can look back at the videos. You didn't support it.
Because he's trash.
I supported it.
I haven't seen anything this
I think
training
Desmond
camp.
Ridder could be a good quarterback, and I
I
think
think Bijan Robinson's a better quarterback.
okay. Panthers coming in third, Bucks in fourth. Bryce Young,
So you
he's
think
gonna have
the
learning
Bucks
curves.
suck now
They suck.
just because they have Baker?
Yeah,
You don't believe in Baker anymore?
don't believe in Baker.
What the hell? You don't believe in Baker?
I don't believe in Baker.
You think the Panthers, out of all these teams,
Yeah,
is going to finish 3rd?
yeah. I like what they did in the offseason.
They still have the Super Bowl roster, the Bucks. They still got Mike Evans. They still got Chris Godwin.
Don't matter if you got a shit quarterback.
You got, what's that tight end?
You can
Kate
win.
Otten.
Listen,
You got Kate Otten.
it's not like they have like a
Rashad
it's not
White,
like they have a Jimmy
underrated.
Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo. They don't need Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'm saying it, but it's not like they have a good quarter.
Did
like,
you see
even a
Baker
solid
Mayfield with the
quarterback.
Rams last year?
I want to get this video. I don't know, but dude.
Fine, I'll just show you who's boss. Here we go. Number 1, you got the Saints. Derek
my.
Carr, and this team is going to win the division. Not just Derek Carr. I think Dennis Allen. I think he's a solid coach. He was just missing a quarterback last year, and now that they got the franchise guy, they locked him up. He's getting like $40 million a year now, making some shmoney in Derek Carr. You also got Chris Olave, who was really good last year. Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas, hopefully he can come back to form. He looked like he could have, and then he got hurt again. So hopefully he stays healthy. I think that could be a solid. Jamal Williams, yes, he
Touchdown
will.
machine.
He will get some carries because Alvin's out for the first 3 games. Stupid idiot. But I think the Saints are the best team in the division by far. Let's move on. I don't like the Falcons in second. I'm sorry, I don't like it.
Don't do it.
I got the Bucks in second.
No.
I got the Bucks in second. Those 2 teams, the Falcons and the Panthers, man, they're trash. They're just trash. That's why the Falcons were picking in the top 10, and the Panthers got the number 1 overall pick. I know they traded up for it. Yeah. But like Bryce Young, he's good. But what I've seen this preseason, he's not like number 1 worthy yet. It's gonna take some time. But why are the Bucks in second? They still got that core Super Bowl team besides Tom Brady. I know Baker's at quarterback, but Baker can win you some games. Not a lot of games, but he's going to win you more than the Panthers. He's going to win you more than the Falcons.
Disagree.
Write that down now.
Write down mine.
So I guess this is a hot take because Matt don't like it, but yeah, I got the Bucks in second. They still got a solid team. They also got Russell Gage. He's a solid wide receiver 3. Can Baker throw the ball to him? We're going to find out.
Russell Gage was already on the Bucks.
I know. And people forgot about that. And guess what? He's not on the Falcons anymore. Who do the Falcons got that scare you?
Drake London.
Drake London?
He's still a really good receiver. Kyle Pitts.
Brian
Johnny Smith.
You think Ritter's going to deliver that ball to him, though?
Yeah.
Right now, at this point, I'd rather have Baker Mayfield than Desmond Ridder. Hate me. Hate me all you want.
Door.
No door.
Door.
We're still recording here. All right. Next up, we have I got the Panthers in third place. I like.
Do you not notice that the Falcons have Megatron? Oh, sorry.
They got
Matt Collins.
Matt Collins is ass.
Looks like Megatron.
I like what the Panthers did, trading up for Bryce Young. You got some studs on the offense now. You got Miles Sanders, one of the best running backs in the league last year in the NFC. You got Adam Thielen. He's a good vet, good mentor for that offense. And who else did they get? They got that tight end, number 81. Hayden Hurst. Stole him from the Bengals. He looked good last year. And I think he'll be a safety blanket for Mr. Bryce Young. And they also drafted Jonathan Mingo from Ole Miss. He's a solid receiver. He was making plays in the preseason from what I saw. I like him. I think he's going to be a great addition to the team. And fourth place, I like what the Falcons did in getting Bijan Robinson, but that's all they got. Him, Kyle Pitts, that's not enough to get the job done. I'm sorry, it's just not. Drake London, I think he's a little overrated.
Come back to this video where the Falcons are in second.
All right, we'll see. I like Todd Bowles for the Bucks. They just have to play up to standard. They didn't do that last year. They just didn't do it. I think they will this year. So that's why they're in second place. But yeah, that's it. Those are your 4 teams. You got the Saints, the Bucks, the Panthers, and the Falcons. And that is your whole preseason rankings.
Let's go ahead just before we end.
I'm going to scroll up. We're going to recap it all.
No, we're not going to recap.
We're not going to recap.
Just slowly go through it.
But yeah.
Just so people can skip to the end of the video and...
Yeah. So you don't have to listen to me blabber for a whole hour. You could just look at this right now.
That's
so there
Steve's.
You go. That's mine. So enjoy that. Soak it all in because it's going to be all perfect because I am him. So there you go. AFC, NFC, those are my preseason rankings. Here is Matthews. There they are up there on the screen. There's some hot takes. Tell us if you guys agree in the comments. We would like to know. Anything else we have to say?
No, I think that's it. So just remember to leave a like, subscribe,
Yep.
share the podcast, and see you next time. Benchwire.
Out.